I'm ready.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. I always start like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Friendboys Music
up,
Therapy, where it's so good and it just keeps getting better.
And this week we are listening to Heavy is the Head by Stormzy.
Fuck yeah.
Hello, this is Friendboys Music Therapy. Take a seat and we'll be with you shortly.
All right, let's get into it. What do we need to know about this record?
This record is brought to us by Atlantic Records as well as Murky Records.
Murky Records. I think it's actually hashtag Murky Records.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Which is an interesting way of marketing yourself. And it's Stormzy's own record label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also has a publishing label called hashtag Murky Books, which has released a couple of songs, which I only knew because he references a couple of times on a few songs.
Wait, which has released a couple of songs or a couple of books?
A couple of books.
Okay.
Yeah. Record label for the songs, publishing label for the books. Yeah, he does
that.
Yeah.
Is he prolific as a writer?
Children's
books?
No, he's written his own, what's it called? You know, when you write about your own life? Not
like a memoir?
Memoir, that's exactly the word I'm looking for.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful move.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about the record? Second studio album?
Uh-huh.
He hasn't been around for that long. 2014, 2015 was when he kind of like came up on the scene with his breakthrough hit, Shut Up. Shut Up.
Shut Up.
Which, if you haven't seen that, go and check it out because the video is fantastic.
So good. Yeah, that was my first introduction to him. I've loved him pretty much ever since.
Love him. You've been in love with him ever since.
I've been in love with him ever since.
All right.
So if you hear this, please call me.
Let's get stuck into musical musings.
Musical musings. Musical musings.
Oh shit. The first song on this record is called Big Michael. A reference to maybe himself because his name
His
is
size, I would say.
He's a big boy, but his name is also Michael.
Yeah.
He has several names actually, which I won't go into because I'll butcher the pronunciation. But the first song is called Big Michael and it comes in really hot. I love the beat and there's this fantastic use of space and timing in this track.
Yeah.
Where like he'll finish a phrase and then wait like an extra bar and then start the new one. Yeah, it's a fantastic way to start a record. Here we go.
Said I went mainstream, suck your mum. Not top 2, top 1. Man must have thought I was dumb. What the fuck have you lot done? All my days. Shellings. I made juice like gave me lemons. You little fuckboys do my head in. Henry VIII, behead him.
Oh man.
Damn, he owns tracks.
God.
Like nobody else. Yeah.
Such a huge start to the record.
Yeah.
The production is off the charts. A guy called Fred Gibson, who features a lot as a producer and a co-writer on this record, was behind that track. Yeah. And, you know, the theme, the Henry VIII theme, he's obviously Heavy as the Head is I think a Shakespearean reference. Heavy as the Head that wears a crown. Anyway, and on that note, the next track that I wanted to point out is a track called Crown.
Which is so excellent. Yeah.
You like it?
Love it, yeah.
Well, it was actually the song that I kept singing. I kept singing. It was a song that I kept singing. What you say? Song I kept singing all week.
Sing it.
Like I didn't think it would be one of the kind of catchiest songs on the record, but it actually is. It's a really nice melody. But when the rap comes in,
I was just gonna say the best moment is as soon as that first bit comes in,
and
riding it in,
and it has like a Keynesian feel to the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like this.
I have my reasons and life
it's so
has its
good.
lessons. I try to be grateful and count all my blessings, but heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Nope.
Amen in Jesus' name, yes I declare it. Any little seed I receive, I have to share it. Brothers wanna break me down, I can't bear it. But heavy is the head with the crown, I still wear it. You can't hold
so
me down,
good.
I still cold. Rain falling
It's
down
like,
like the bricks, I'm still sold.
reminds me of like
Try to put a hole
maybe
in a
some
ship,
older
we'll pull
Kanye
both.
West
2 birds
stuff.
with 1 stone, I pull both.
Sorry, I just want to keep listening. Yeah.
Yeah, just
No, absolutely.
Huge
The
fan of that song.
The video clip for that as well seems to be a live performance of it, which is just a guy playing piano with him, and the way he just like, it's a simple film clip of just him basically doing it over the top of the backing track.
Yeah.
And impeccable.
Yeah, you like it?
Oh, yeah, it's so sick. Yeah.
Already getting a pretty positive vibe from this record. The next song I wanted to play is a song called Rainfall.
A song I've heard you singing in the last hour.
And in this song, we have the remix that nobody knew that they wanted, but by God, is it good. It's called...
Oh, yeah.
You'll know this song. And weird that they put it in, but I'm glad that they did. Anyway, here we go.
Let the rain fall on my enemies, on all of my enemies. Lord, let the rain fall on my enemies. Let it fall on my enemies. Yo.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just wanna praise ya. I just wanna praise ya.
Oh man, love
You broke the chains, now I can lift my head. And I'm gonna praise ya.
Like, that had no business being on the record, but amazing.
Yeah, okay. I almost put that as a clanger, to be frank with you.
Really?
Yeah. I changed my mind because I realized that it might be a little bit more significant than just a musical thing, because I think there's a few nods to the might of black women on this album, and I think this is almost like an homage.
To Mary Mary and their smash hit Shackles.
Yeah, a homage to that. And so I think that it's good in that way. But like you said, to me, it doesn't really fit.
No, it doesn't.
And I found it a little bit too jarring. But whatever.
But it's like this weird dancehall cover of the original track, and it just works.
Sure. Yeah.
Even though it doesn't really work in the context of the song.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
It's
rain. Rain
like,
falls on my enemies.
It's like it's a weird way of covering a song where you're just like, oh, we'll just put this in the song for a bit and then we'll go back to my song.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it when it came on. So
yeah,
all about that. Moving on to a song called "Don't Forget to Breathe." It's kind of like an interlude track.
Yeah.
But it's featuring this a singer called Yebba. And if you guys haven't heard of Yebba before, I highly recommend checking out this video of her performing a song live. She's relatively unknown. I don't know that she's released one single, I think. But the way that I came across her is a friend of mine showed me a video of her performing a song called, oh my God, what's the song called? It was for a So Far Sounds live show. Oh dear. I'm gonna play the sample, and by the time it comes back, I reckon I will have remembered it. But anyway, she has a fantastic voice. Sometimes she oversings. She's featured on Mark Ronson's record a lot.
Okay.
So she's obviously making waves in the music industry.
Yeah.
But So this song was called "Don't Forget to Breathe," and it goes like this.
Don't forget to breathe. You just chase your dreams. You don't even take the time to sleep.
It's impossible.
But don't forget to breathe.
It's impossible to forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe. And when you're down on your luck, just hold on, please. Or just close your eyes and count to 3. And don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. You just
Yeah, and it's a weird feature because all she's doing is kind of backing vocals.
Yeah.
But she has this amazing control of her voice. The song that I was talking to is called My Mind. And if you go to YouTube and check out, you're on YouTube, or if you're not, if you're listening, go to YouTube and check out a performance of My Mind by Yebba. And it is honestly the best vocal performance I have ever seen in my life.
Whoa.
That says a lot, I think.
I've never heard you make such a big claim.
Yeah, anyway, so check her out. She's awesome. The next song I want to play is a song where the beat fires way hard. It's a song called Pop Boy.
Oh yeah.
And
Pop Boy.
For me, it was the best beat on the record.
Oh wow.
Yo, the boy's too hot, put a fan on. I am never under pressure, man. It's pressure that I stand on. I'm not the ready, you can go and put your hand on. I'm just cooking up some flavor, then I mix it like a man on. A bit of strength and a little bit of core. Could I have my little brother drenched dipping in the York? Long time I was keeping on the floor. Me and Twin B, we the new jigger in the York. Flex on them.
I love that. It's so
Let's have a go on that one.
I'd love to have a go on that one. A few bars, just an 8-bar section maybe.
Feet Diego.
That again. So not only was this guy Fred Gibson producing on the Big Michael song that we played first, he also produced that song and the next song, which is called Own It.
Yeah.
So this, the 3 songs, which in my opinion were the best like the best beats, the best productions on the record were done by this guy, Fred Gibson. So
What were the other two?
Pop Boy and Big Michael.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely love what he's done on this record, and I wanted to play the chorus from Own It because it's a really like good pop chorus.
Own it, girl, you just own it. Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it. Then go ahead, you flip and get higher. Girl, I love how you roll it. I put my hand there. Hold it, I'ma be right by you.
Yeah, like for me, this is was like the standout like pop banger kind of track on the record, featuring Ed Sheeran, of course.
I again thought that this was one of the songs that didn't fit on the album at all. And I thought that it was the least interesting song because of that, because it felt like chasing that like number one single. And also Ed Sheeran's verse on this sucks.
You don't like it?
Nope.
Fair
and
enough.
also he doesn't fit on this record at all. I know that they're like mates and like, you know, that's fine. Like he does it. But in the video clip as well, it just looks so out of place. It's so funny.
But like, you kind of feel sorry for the guy because he just looks so out of place, even though he like
It doesn't matter where.
He's every right to be there, like
Yeah,
musically
yeah.
and all the rest of it. But he's just like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I rated that song. I thought you're well within your rights to have like a pop banger on a record like this.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he has a song called Pop Boy, which I don't really know, but I think is referencing his like people thinking that he's sold out or like that he makes pop music rather than grime music, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, maybe I do.
Yeah.
But like, or he like kind of wears that a little bit.
Well, it's also being the top boy as well. Like he's the top of the grime game.
Yeah,
he like
exactly.
throws in there, and I don't know if they're sort of interchangeable.
But anyway, yeah, that was for me that was like a pretty big chorus on this record.
When you keep saying Fred, was it Fred Gibson?
Yeah.
I keep thinking Freddie Gibbs, and I cannot get him out of my head. It's like
No, Fred Gibson.
Okay, not Freddie Gibbs. If you
One of the other
problem with
producers
me.
on that Own It record was a guy called Jay Weathers, who deserves a little bit of credit.
Right.
The next song I wanted to play was actually, for me, the song that hit me. The song that I had like the most emotional connection to. Really, I guess an honest song, and it's a song called Lessons. And
Very honest song.
Yeah, it's super beautiful song. It goes like this.
You taught me love, oh what a gift, I know that it's hard, too hard to forgive. And to be honest, if I were you, I'll be the same, babe. To be honest, if I were you, then I'd be unforgiving too.
Yeah, like in terms of the lyrical content, the emotional connection of that song, even the chorus is really nice.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a fan of maybe some of the singles that have come out, I'd check out that song.
Yeah, I will say, like, I totally agree. I really like that song too, and I like the honesty, but there are some moments on it lyrically which I found a little bit questionable, which we'll get into later in Clangers.
Fantastic.
So
Something
wait
to look
for that.
forward to.
Yeah.
The next song I have to talk about is a song called Vossi Bop.
Huge song.
Beat, okay, first of all, the beat was by a guy called Chris Ando. And as far as I can tell, he's done like nothing before. Like
That's a big entrance.
Yeah, exactly. Like he had two cuts, one in 2015, one 2017, but like records that basically did nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
I hope I'm not wrong about that. As far as I could tell, but this is like his entrance, and it was a straight to number one in the UK. I love the production. The kick is almost like it sounds like it's reversed. It kind of like swells into it, which is a pretty cool thing that I haven't heard too much of before. All right, let's play the track and then we can talk about it afterwards.
Hottest in the world, but we telling them, look, my brothers don't die, we just Vossi Bop. I tell your girl to link me at the coffee shop. Getting freaky in the sheets, we're taking body shots. Then I finish with a facial just to top it off. My brothers don't die, we just Vossi Bop. I tell your girl to link me at the coffee shop. Getting freaky in the sheets, we're taking body shots. Then I finish with a facial just to top it off.
So, this was the first single on the record. As I said before, it went straight to number one. The video clip is really cool.
10 out of 10.
And it starts off with him, and they've like rented out London Bridge and also the plaza in front of the Bank of England. And there's no one there other than just Stormzy and then like a few kids who are like
The dancers.
dancers.
Yeah.
And like such a powerful like statement which as you know, like a young black artist who's like the biggest thing in UK hip hop at the moment, to have like basically the run of the city.
Exactly.
So cool. And then it goes on to like a whole bunch of other stuff in the video clip, but like amazing way to like launch the record.
Yeah. And
the term Vossi Bop actually references a viral video from a guy, like from a guy whose Twitter handle was NL_Vossi.
Right.
Because I was like, what the hell is this? Like, is it a brand of clothing, or like, is it some kind of thing?
No, he does say, I'm selling so much Vossi, I should open a Vossi shop.
Yeah, exactly. Which, no, it's a guy from London who just did a viral video of him like doing this like lean in thing to a song, and then Stormzy, and it was like 2 or 3 years ago almost that they recorded this song. I think it was in like 2016.
Yeah.
But it was just like,
he does also say in the clip that his girl is a goddess, talking about the girl that he's now not with anymore. And it's released on the same album as
like some of the breakup songs.
Yeah, which is weird. Lessons, that's it. Yeah.
But like,
so it must be a little bit older is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it's like it's kind of like a London announcement of like what we do instead of dabbing. Because like, he's like, we don't dab, we Bossy Bop. So it's like very much like a statement of like,
absolutely,
London pride or whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing, just quickly, I tried to find out, because there were a couple of people noted as songwriters. One of which was the guy Chris Ando, who was like this unknown producer dude. Another one was a guy called Dakarai Forbes. Right. And I was like, who's Dakarai Forbes? Because he's not on any of the other songs. He doesn't have like a Wikipedia page or anything. I tried to find out a little bit more about him. And the only thing I can find is a video on YouTube, which I'd like to link in the comment in the like description below. It's just of like this little fat kid who's like, he's called Dakarai Forbes. Okay, maybe that's a bit rude. He's a little guy, you know, a young man, young boy. And it's got like 26 views.
Would you say it's heavy or?
It's got like 26 views, and I hope he gets more attention because of this. But it's him singing a song that I think he's written.
Right.
But he starts off the video, he like walks up to the camera, presses record, and then he walks off the shot and then sings the song off shot because maybe he's embarrassed or something like that. And
yeah.
Oh, it was the funniest thing.
That's
and if you look at the video, you'll understand why it's funny.
I'm looking forward to seeing that later.
I as power and respect to this guy. Oh man. But what I thought was this Dakarai Forbes could be the guy on Twitter who created the initial viral video.
Right.
And it could be like a shout out to him, giving him some credit on this as a songwriter on the record. That would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find the name anywhere, like in no discography, like lookups or anything like that. So I hope the case was that Stormzy has credited him as a songwriter on the record and that he's getting some money out of it. And that was it. That's all.
That's all the music on this album.
That's all the music on this album.
All the music we have time for.
Let's come back with Jake and Clangers.
All right. And welcome back to Clangers, the section where we make fun of the lyrics despite how much I like the album. Let's get into it.
Yes. Clangers.
Clangers. So we're going to start off with a song named Audacity.
The Audacity.
The Audacity. Now, this song features a rapper named Headie One, who has a little feature verse. There aren't too many feature verses on this album, actually, come to think of it, but this is one of them. And Headie One kicks us off with a little bit of a clanger from Audacity.
Cause I learned how to work this handy, not just part or Scandi. I was with Broteen, Jennifer, Andes. I told her I'm trying to be the best I can be. Next day I go end up on the up block like who's on me, Charlie. Come off the wing like Andres 1000. I bought a new Henny and it cost 4,000. Kept it close, pagans when it out me. They want me in a box like chicken chow mein.
All right, so there's a little treat in there for you that you might have picked up or you may not have. I come off the wing like Andres Townsend.
Ah, so good. I love these.
And I think it's this verse in which there's 3 football references, which is a treat for me as a big football fan and Dale's a Crystal Palace fan. So that's a little...
just so that everyone knows, Stormzy and a lot of, I guess, the grime scene from London comes from South London. And the football team of South London is Crystal Palace, my team.
Yeah.
And
they're barely a team, but yeah,
and Andros Townsend is one of the players.
One of the wingers, so he comes with the wing like Andros Townsend. But it's not just that; he also uses a particularly bad line. They want me in a box like chicken chow mein.
I love this guy's flow. He sounds so funny. Like
yeah. It's almost like he's like delivering one-liners, which I mean he kind of is one after another. Yeah, it is good. And also, knowledge is power. Ask Gandhi.
Oh,
like, it's pretty funny. I would say good, but whatever. It's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the meat of Clangers, the meaty bit. The song Rachel's Little Brother. To me has quite a few clangers. I don't dislike the song. I quite like it. It just happens to have 3. Yes, you heard right. 3.
Wow.
Different clangers. We're going to start off with the first one from quite early off in Rachel's Little Brother.
Now I'm the big dog, I make the whole arena bark. Boom shakalaka when I shake the room. My goons bring the whackers, I just make the tunes. Hakuna Matata when my days are blue. All of you rappers need to pay your dues.
Okay, I'm the big dog, woof. Not great. But it's also this thing that happens a few times on these records where you've got big dogs trying to sound real tough. And the idea of saying, Hakuna Matata.
Like an aggressive
Hakuna Matata, I can't help but laugh. Immediately following that, let's hear him talk about his dragons.
They'll be Thanos when they find out where you keep them stones. Brothers stab me in my back, you really be your own. I still keep some dragons with me like I'm Peter Jones. I still keep some dragons with me like I'm Stormborn. They're screaming more storms, so I give them more storms. Man, them are dense, man, and now the man are 4 storms.
Not the most poetic section. I keep my dragons with me like I'm Peter Jones, who's the guy from Dragon's Den, for anybody who didn't know.
And then a shout out to Daenerys Stormborn.
Yeah, exactly. And also just saying they're screaming more storms, so I give them more storms. Man, dem were against man, and now dem man are 4 storms. It's like, it's a
bit of a tongue twister.
Chow, man. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, and so this song, Rachel's Little Brother, the final clanger from this is really confusing to me. Now, this song is about how he's Stormzy, he's Big Michael, but he's Rachel's little brother, Rachel, his sister, who brought him up apparently through some hard times. And this song is kind of dedicated to her, sort of showing her, or like making it clear to everybody how important, that he is still.
Then why is he talking about his dragons?
That's a great question. But it gets more confusing in what you might call a bridge.
Yeah.
But,
towards the end of the song, yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of the song. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's this one?
Yeah.
Makes my soul go weak. The only one
Yeah.
who makes my heart want to beat, and I could never live without you. You know that what I feel has to be true. 'Cause you're my sweet lover. If you.
That was the reaction I was hoping. Because that was the reaction I had the first time I was reading through this song carefully. And then you get up to this like quite pretty bit that he sings, but I can't tell if this song switches at any point to not being about his sister, because suddenly he starts calling her
my sweet lover. I mean, obviously he's not talking about his sister at that point, but
I mean, I don't know what to make of it. If he is, it's odd. If not, then that needs to be made more clear.
Yeah.
Big Michael.
Do you remember when we did this show on Tim McGraw?
A very long time
the
ago,
country,
yeah.
One of the episodes from way back before we started doing the YouTube show.
Yeah.
And he did this song about, it's like a love song. And he did it with his daughter.
Right.
Super weird. And he was like a country musician, so they were already battling with like some ancestral stereotypes. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Didn't expect it from Stormzy though.
It's so confusing. And I'm sure everybody will be like, you're an idiot. Like it's clearly this.
We're totally wrong about this, but yeah.
Of course, but it is just like the point is it's not clear. And in otherwise what is a very sweet like rendition to his
about
sister.
his dragons.
And his dragons, yeah. Don't forget his dragons. Anyways, I found that a little bit confusing. All right, moving on to the song Handsome. This one is just one of these lines that, thanks so much, really cracks me up because it's just like one of these insults or something. I don't really get it, but let's hear it and then hopefully someone can explain it to me. Maybe you.
Bang down the rave like I'm Rachel Lanson. It's like I'm young, black, flying handsome. Bang down the rave like I'm Rachel Lanson. Paintings wanna hold me at ransom. I go booth and make an anthem. I just drop the heat and do tour. From Amsterdam to New York. You won't bust a gun, you a dork. Go suck your mum through a straw. Alright, calm down, don't get...
Okay, so firstly calling someone a dork like that is so good.
I love these like really bad insults. Like it's almost kind of like a thing in grime music, or at least from what I've heard. Yeah. It's just like, you're rude.
Yeah, rude boy. Yeah, totally. But then what the fuck does go suck your mum through a straw mean?
Well, the first thing he says on the record is suck your mum.
Exactly. What is this?
I love that.
Go suck your mum through a straw. What?
Nah, it's brilliant. These like vague insults that are like, yeah.
It sounds really offensive. Like if someone's something to go like really angry, go suck your mum through a straw, I'd be like, fuck, this guy's real mad at me.
I've got to think about that as well.
But I'm going to go away and have a quick think about what he means because I don't get it.
Brilliant.
This is another example actually of what you just talked about with these like sort of like almost like weak insults from the song Bruns.
When you hit the stage, you get booed. If I punch your face, I get sued. You ain't bad, you're just rude. Lamborghini too sporty. She ain't bad, she just naughty. I'm a big man, but I'm not 40. Anything that I drop top 40. Why them boys don't support me? Oh, them boys are too hatey.
It's like,
I'm a big man, but I'm not 40.
It's like PC insults.
Yeah.
But he's delivering it in such an aggressive way. Like
all them boys are too hatey.
They're too much hate. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It makes me laugh, man. It's hilarious.
Exactly. Yeah, it's real good. Again, it's not really a critique so much. It's just real funny. Okay. And then we're moving on to the aforementioned clanger in Lessons. I'll play it first, and then we can talk about it after.
Good call.
Why you got a bitch all the time? Just read my message. Shit, fucking hell, I'm such a handful. On one hand, I'm pissed, but on the other hand, I'm thankful. Times when it was bliss, and there were times it was a shambles. Times when it was lit, and other times we lit the candles.
Okay, so just 2 weak lines to kick it off. On one hand, I'm pissed, but on the other hand, I'm thankful. Wow. Times when it was lit, and other times we lit the candles.
I don't know if that's a clanger. I reckon that might be to do with not having electricity or maybe people dying. And you like light a candle in there.
Okay. Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah. I thought it was just like times when it was lit and times where it was like sexy, like we light the candles.
No, I think it's...
times when it was going really well and times when we didn't have light so we could use the candles. But I don't know.
Or it could also be like maybe someone died and they like had like a funeral or something like that.
I just think the lit the candles is weak.
I pass. I get to pass from me.
But the biggest problem for me is yet to come.
Oh shit!
Because this whole song is about how he cheated on Maya, his girlfriend, and
disgusting behavior.
And and how he understands why he says a bunch of times like he understands where she's coming from and he would do exactly the same thing. But also in the first verse, he keeps talking about how she won't return his messages. And the first one is, why you got to bitch all the time? Just read my message.
It doesn't sound very like apologetic.
If that was the recipient, he's like, this song's meant to be him like laying his heart on the line and saying how sorry, like he couldn't be more sorry. She'll never understand how sorry she is. And also that he would feel the same way. But then going, why you got to bitch all the time? Just read my message. Mixed messages, my friend, which I thought was a little bit off. But anyway, that's what the clang is.
Otherwise, an extremely heartfelt.
Extremely heartfelt song that I really like.
Yeah.
And same as you, really tugged on the heartstrings. I'm sure everyone's turned it off by this point, but that was all the bad bits that I purposely picked out. There are a lot of lyrics on this album and so many strong ones. Superheroes is an excellent example of Black Pride, I suppose you'd call it, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
There's some of his like wordplay and stuff is amazing. Wiley Flow is unreal if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
Lyrically, this album is really, really good.
I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Let's move along to the ratings and review section.
Let's do it.
All right.
Which means it's time for the ratings and review.
Ah, so good.
It's time for your rating now.
All right. Who wants to take it away?
I would like you to take it away.
With my favorite song?
With your favorite song.
My favorite song was Lessons.
Okay.
which is the song we just talked about, the really heartfelt song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good songs on this record.
Oh yeah.
I found it hard to choose between like the really up-tempo, like high-energy ones. But the one that like stuck out for me upon maybe even my first listen to the record, maybe my second, was Lessons, because I was like, oh shit, like this, he really has something to say, and it was a very powerful song, and also a great chorus and all the rest of it.
I could not agree more. Like, it's not my favorite song, but I agree that like there's something that really stands out when somebody writes a song so personal and it's delivered so personally,
bluntly.
Yeah, and it's like citing actual things that have happened. I've especially talked about so many times how like when people talk about generic examples to do with romance, it's so dull. This is a great example of somebody speaking from the heart. It seems coming out. Picking a favorite song on this album was so hard.
Absolutely.
It's so difficult, and I understand what you did. I went for more of the upbeat ones. I love Crown and Wiley Flow, but my favorite song is definitely Vossi Bop. I heard this song when it first dropped, and I loved it, and still have loved it ever since. It's probably my song of the year, so I couldn't really not pick it for my favorite song.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
As you say, I could have chosen a number of songs as my favorite song on this record. Least favorite?
Yeah, we have to do least favorite. Yeah.
1 Second.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
that was my second least favorite. Mine was Don't Forget to Breathe, the interlude.
Right.
It just felt really unnecessary to me. It kind of slows it down, and
I quite liked it. I found that 1 second should have been what Don't Forget to Breathe was. 1 second went on way too long, and I thought it was featuring H.E.R, the artist H.E.R. H.E.R. I don't know. Yeah. The chorus was kind of weak, and they kept singing it. They kept singing it over and over again.
Yeah.
Like they really hammered it home, and there's this 35-second interlude of her just going like, ooh. Yeah. And I kind of hate that shit anyway. But the weakest, not a song that I hated by any means, but for me, the weakest song on the record.
No, I think that's totally fair. I also just want to say that the song Own It, which I've already talked about before, the single with Ed Sheeran, I think it's really dull. I think it's kind of bland.
No idea what you're talking about.
And I don't think that it was a particularly good addition to the album. I think it could have been as like a separate single, but I don't think that it really works on the album. It's not really, doesn't really belong. There's nothing personal. There's nothing powerful about that song. It's just like a let's smoke weed and dance with a girl song. And it's like, and that's fine. That's fine to make. But like this album to me felt quite political. It felt personal.
Yeah.
Like, and anyways, that's why I didn't like it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But not fair enough.
But unfair at the same time.
All right, how many Friendboys out of 11 does this album get from you?
This is so tough. 10. It's like, I feel like with time, it's either going to be lifted to me to an 11 out of 11, or it's going to drop down a little bit, because I feel like I just haven't, we've only had a few days to sit with this album, and I wish we had a little bit longer, because I feel like there's more to get from this. It's quite deep. There's obviously so many lyrics.
Yeah, totally.
For nothing else, like for lack of a better way to put it. Like there's just so much to get into. And the songs I already knew, I love all of them. There's plenty more on here that I didn't know, like Superheroes. Crown I didn't know particularly well.
Yeah.
And there's only a couple of weak songs, and like the Harry Styles album, the weak songs aren't that weak. Yeah. I don't think they're bad songs. I just think that they're not quite as strong as the others.
Yeah, we've had some good albums recently.
Yeah, everyone except for Camila Cabello has been.
And they've all come from the UK, which is interesting. So step up your game, America. Wow, that's going to get me a lot of enemies.
I think all our audience is from America.
Not for this one, hopefully. Yeah, man, I was working under the proviso that you couldn't get 11 out of 11. That was an unreachable goal.
Yeah.
So this gets a very strong 10 from me. This album is top to bottom fantastic.
Oh man, I thought you were going to do it. I got excited because we've never given anything an 11.
I don't think you can get an 11.
I would give Frank Ocean's Blonde 11. But there's not many.
If there's no album that can get an 11 for me, then this gets a massive 10 out of 10. This album is fantastic. Every time I listen to it, I was excited to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You could turn it on at any point in the record.
Absolutely.
Great songs. Yeah. I think he's got a lot to say. I really love what he stands for.
Yeah.
He's a likable guy when you see him in interviews and things like that.
And each song, they often have really punchy messages talking about specific things, which is so interesting. Like, he talks about the scholarship that he gives out and says it's not racist, it's not anti-white, it's just pro-black.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's a really challenging and simple way of putting something forward that's like topical. And
I will say that. Yeah. Sorry, I will say that's much easier for a rapper than it is for a singer. It just is. The format, the art form is just much more conducive to talking about specific things, and you can get away like singing about me making a scholarship. It doesn't really happen. Like it's very Coldplay did it a little bit more on the last record, but but having said that, there's a lot of rap out there that's just complete drivel, and it doesn't really have a point. Yeah. So this is fantastic.
It's really pointed.
Yeah,
every song
totally.
is very pointed. You're like, oh right, this is the song that's about this.
Even the cover of the album is him holding the knife-proof vest that Banksy designed for him,
which again he talks about in a song.
Yeah. And he's holding it, looking at it. It's the vest that he wore when he performed at Glastonbury, which is one of the most like seminal moments in like UK pop music history over the last decade or whatever. Just so pointed. Yeah, that's a really good way of describing it.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic album.
Agreed.
It's going to be one of my favorite albums of the last one of my favorite albums ever, I reckon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to say the same.
So good.
I'll definitely continue listening to it, which I don't often say for most of the stuff.
Yeah, totally. And that's coming off the back of another good album in the Harry Styles one, but it's not the same thing. It's not as pointed. It's not as... Anyway, wow, okay. Should we get onto some listener comments and interactions?
Yeah.
First things first is a correction and clarification. A few people mentioned that I was wrong about One Direction wanting to get back together and Harry Styles being the one that's like, no, I'm doing my own thing. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That was based off some very loose information that I had, and upon further digging, it turns out that I was wrong. But
there's no harm in spreading rumors.
That's true. And if you come here for reliable information, then that's on you. So there's that out of the way.
There's that.
The next thing is from a comment on our Tori Kelly video from a guy called Seb Bagley, who's very disappointed with us.
Oh, Seb.
And he says, at one point we pointed out a section in one of the songs that was just like this really self-indulgent like intro to a song where she's just like doing vocal gymnastics all over the place. And we were like, who the hell is going to listen to this more than once?
What song? Coffee?
No, it was, I can't remember the song.
Anyway.
And he says, and he quotes us, who's going to listen to that more than once? Me. And a lot of other people who don't have sticks up their asses like you two tossers. And then he goes on, I'm paraphrasing, to say, tell you what, make your own album and upload it. People can react to it and tell you how shit you are. You have all the gear, but no idea.
So guess what, Seb? We've released an album, we've dropped it, and we're looking forward to... No.
But who knows? Maybe it's on the way. And I very much look forward to Seb's reaction and breakdown of our record. I hope he's not just talking shit and he will actually do it, because I would love to see that.
Yeah, but then we'll see who has a stick up his ass.
Yeah, it's probably going to be him. And finally, we had a lovely comment from a lady, I assume, called Amy Gutierrez. She said, I enjoyed your reactions and I subscribed. Fuck yeah. Be more like Amy, guys.
Thanks, Amy.
But also, if if there's shit we've said that you don't like, tell us.
Well, correct us. That's great.
Love that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And thanks for the response on the Harry Styles video. Everybody who is continuing to watch, that was really great. And it's cool to see so many people checking it out.
And in the spirit of Christmas and in the spirit of giving, the very least you guys could do is tell a friend, tell an enemy, like, subscribe, all that shit. And we'll see you after the Christmas break. I think we're going to take a week off, 2 weeks off or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll be back stronger. If that's possible, because this was a pretty fucking strong album. Yeah,
it's not possible, is it? We've ended on a high.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And we'll see you in the new year, the new decade.
Oh, yeah, true. Bye.
Bye.